Let the past die. Kill it, if you have to. That's the only way to become what you were meant to be.
Welcome once again, my fellow manipulators of digital fate. I'm Richie, this is Capricorn, and we are back, baby. We are moving full steam ahead. Goodbye, sickness. Got a little bit of a cough, but nothing crazy. This deck is absolutely insane. It's taking the ranked ladder by storm, and I can't wait to share it with you. This one's called Bury the Past. This is an Abzan deck utilizing Raise the Past. It's sort of a combo deck, but it's also kind of a mid-range deck that doesn't even need the combo to win. We can just win through attrition. We just fill up the board with an insane amount of creatures. We have an insane amount of ways of just dealing damage, gaining life off of creatures entering, off of creatures dying. You have to see it to believe it. It's absolutely insane. We fill up the graveyard super fast, and then if we can just get to Erase the Past, which we can very easily do in this with all of the surveilling that we're doing, we just jam it and almost auto win on the spot. The deck is insane. I can't wait to show it to you, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but please give this video a like, help this channel to grow, help this video to get out to more people. I'm coming off of being sick for a week, so if you guys have seen my last two videos, you know this right now is the time when we need the likes the most, so if you wouldn't mind hitting that like button, it does mean an awful lot. Subscribe if you're new, because I have more deck techs on the way, and be sure to catch me live every Monday through Friday over on Twitch. That's twitch.tv/QuarantineCapricorn, because if I'm alive and I'm breathing, I'm there and I'm streaming, and I am alive and breathing, damn it. No more pneumonia, so let's go. I am in love with this deck. This thing's just absolutely insane. So the entire deck is built around a new card in Foundations called Raise the Past. 2 white and 2 for a sorcery. Return all creature cards with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. So the entire deck is 1-drop and 2-drop creatures, but they're all creatures that are getting us 3 specific functions that we need. They're either helping us to surveil and fill up our graveyard with even more creatures to get back with Raise the Past, or they're giving us ways to get value off of gaining life. Stuff like Hinterland Sanctifier, where we gain life when things enter the battlefield. Or we're using things that have death triggers that give us even more value or potentially drains. I'll get into it in just a minute here. So first of all, let's talk about our enablers. We have Hinterland Sanctifier. That's going to gain us life whenever creatures enter the battlefield. So when we do eventually Raise the Past, we're potentially gaining a ton of life. To go alongside that, we've got 4 copies of �il-Kor, because that will also gain us a ton of life, while also giving us a way to drain out our opponent with damage if, specifically, we're able to have all of our creatures die and trigger those death triggers on Ellis. In addition, we have Starscape Cleric. So if Starscape Cleric and �il-Kor and Hinterland Sanctifier and a whole bunch of other creatures just all come back at the same time, we get a ton of life gain triggers. And all of those life gain triggers end up draining our opponent out because of the Starscape Cleric. It's absolutely insane. Almost every time we cast Raise the Past, it's a one-shot. We just immediately kill our opponent. But if we don't immediately kill our opponent, we have ourselves set up in a situation where we have �il-Kor on the board. When things die, they lose a life. We've also got 4 copies of Vengeful Bloodwitch. So when things die, they lose a life and we gain a life, which will also work with the Starscape Cleric and make them lose an additional life. And it's just synergies on top of synergies on top of synergies. So even if we don't kill them with all of the enters the battlefield life gain triggers and just draining them out with a Starscape Cleric, we can just get all of these death trigger creatures, the Blood Witch, the �il-Kor, onto the battlefield with a Bartolomé, and use the Bartolomé to just sacrifice our entire board and drain our opponent out immediately that way. And the fact that this deck can pivot and either kill with everything entering the battlefield with ETB triggers, or potentially kill just by having death triggers and having everything die and drain out the opponent that way. Having those two different modes that you can pivot on into depending on the situation is, I think, what makes this version of this deck so resilient, so versatile, and it can kind of just move in whichever direction it needs to get the job done. Another really cool thing about this deck is the fact that we don't even necessarily need Raise the Past to win. If we get a Raise the Past, we're almost always just going to win on the spot. But even without it, we just flood the board with a whole bunch of things. We chump block to high hell. We keep getting drains, and eventually we just win. So we don't even need Raise the Past to win. We can just win through attrition. The whole rest of the deck is ways to put things in the graveyard to set up for Raise the Past, or ways to stack the top of our deck so that we can make sure we get the lands we need, make sure we can get a Raise the Past, dig into it with stuff like Surveil, put it on the top of our deck when we finally hit one to make sure that we can, you know, draw it and cast it the next turn. And in that way, we kind of keep it protected from discard as well. We don't actually need the Raise the Past in our hand. We just Surveil a bunch, get it on top, they waste their discard, and then we top deck it, slam it, and win, which is awesome. But at the bottom of the curve, we have all these 1-drops. The only 1-drop we have that doesn't actually allow us to prevent something from going into the graveyard is the Gnawing Vermin. 1 mana, 1/1. When it enters, target player mills 2 cards, and then when it dies, target creature you don't control gets -1/-1 until end of turn. This can sometimes be a bit of a whiff, because there is the risk that you could mill your Raise the Past. So if you have your Gnawing Vermin, you want to try and get that out ASAP. Get that mill to happen first before you start surveilling. That way, if you surveil into something you need to keep on top, whether it's a land or a Raise the Past, you're not then in a situation where you can't play your Gnawing Vermin and get value off of self-milling because you're going to self-mill away your Raise the Past. So make sure you get the Gnawing Vermin out as soon as possible because of that. But everything else surveils. So we have Faerie Dreamthief. When it enters, we get to surveil 1, and then we have extra value where if we're out of gas later in the game, we can pay 3, exile this from our graveyard, draw a card. Sometimes that's as good as surveilling. If we're just digging for a land or for a Raise the Past, this can get us 1 card deeper just from exiling it from our graveyard. And sometimes it doesn't matter if we lose just 1 or 2 creatures from our graveyard along the way, because we're going to have so many that come back with Raise the Past that it's going to be enough to kill them anyway. So Faerie Dreamthief can be really good. We've also got Snarling Gorehound, because as soon as this is on the battlefield, every single creature in the entire deck that comes down lets us surveil. Once we have a Gorehound out, we can surveil through everything so fast. We almost always fill up our graveyard with enough to kill our opponent, make sure we get our lands, make sure we get a Raise the Past on the top of our deck, and just win the game. So Gorehound, absolutely essential. It's probably the next most important thing to play as early as possible. I do think we probably play the Gnawing Vermin first. Actually, you can play the Gorehound first and then drop a Gnawing Vermin and order the triggers so that you get self-milled first and then you surveil 1. You want to get that self-mill out of the way ASAP so that you can start going ham with all the surveil. Like I said, not have to worry about setting up the top of your deck and then being in a position where you don't want to self-mill yourself. And Gnawing Vermin is really important to have in the deck too, because it has that ability where when it dies, you can give -1/-1 to something, so it's a good answer to some of the early aggro plays. It's a good answer to the bat, right? The Deep Cavern Bat, to get back something they take from our hands. So Gnawing Vermin, absolutely must include, but get rid of that self-mill as quick as possible. And then we're also running 4 Rubblebelt Mavericks because it surveils not 1 but 2, which is amazing. And then 4 copies of Broodspinner as a 2-drop as well. Comes down as a 2/3 with reach, can help block flyers. It also surveils 2, which is absolutely huge. And a nice little bit of extra value with the Broodspinner is if you do manage to get to like 6 mana and maybe you don't have a Raise the Past to go off with, you could still sacrifice the Broodspinner and make 2, 3, 4, 5 sometimes spiders. And all of those spiders entering the battlefield are going to trigger your life gain triggers, your surveil triggers, like everything that you want to trigger and possibly still win the game outright. And if that's not enough, as those spiders die, they'll also get those death triggers on il-Kor and Vengeful Bloodwitch. So that's kind of like an alternate big big bombastic combo win that you can do in situations where you can't quite get to Raise the Past. But sometimes you don't need either of these like big finale plays. You just win through attrition. You just flood the board with dudes, you chump block, you start ticking down their life total and buffering yours as your stuff dies, and eventually you just outlast them. They can't kill you quick enough because you're gaining so much life, and you just grind them into dust. It's insane, but once you can get to Raise the Past, game over. The last thing I want to say really quick before we get into the games is the mana base is very specific. We only have to run 17 lands because we have so much Surveil that we can always set ourselves up to find the lands that we're missing, to find the lands that we need. And because of that, we're able to have so much more gas in the deck and, you know, waste less card slots in the deck being dedicated to lands while still having the consistency to get those lands with the Surveil. So we are running 2 Underground Mortuaries and 3 Shadowy Backstreets as Surveil lands. They'll enter tapped, but they help us put even more gas in the yard and try to dig to the next card we need. We've got 3 Blooming Marsh and 3 Concealed Courtyards because they come into play untapped in the first 3 turns of the game, which is really, really important. And then we've got 3 Caves of Koilos, 2 Llanowar Wastes, and just 1 brush land as pain lands. And the key here is you want just enough pain lands that you can have a consistent chance of having that be your 4th land drop, so that if you happen to have a Raise the Past ready to go, you don't have to wait until turn 5 to get over a tapped land entering the battlefield before you can finally play it. So being at 6 pain lands does get us to a number that is increasing our chances of making that happen, which I do think is kind of important. But we don't want to go too crazy on the pain lands because we're going to be facing aggro decks. We're going to be trying to outlast those aggro decks with all of our life gain. So we want to keep the life that we're paying to a minimal. And I think the 6, I think the 6 pain lands is perfect. Same thing with the Surveil lands. We'd love to play more than the 5 if we could, but we don't want too many lands that enter tapped, you know, unconditionally. We want to make sure we can play out our stuff. So there is a fine balance here between fast lands, tapped lands, and pain lands, and I think we found the perfect mix. I also just want to point out almost everything in the deck is black, so we have to lean very heavily into black. So every single land in the entire deck makes black except for this 1 lone brush land. And I think we can afford to have 1 land in the deck not make black, but we don't ever want to be in a situation where we have 2 lands on the battlefield as part of our like first 3 lands, and both of them, you know, 2 out of those 3 lands can't make black, because we're going to get just completely bottlenecked with the inability to play most of the stuff out of our hand if we do that. But I do think the 1 brush land is fine, and I like having the 1 land that doesn't make black be a pain land, because since there aren't many cards in the deck that need a color that isn't black, it means that we won't have to use this for a colored mana very often. So the fact that it's a pain land is a bit more negligible if it's a land we're only using for a colored mana when we absolutely need to, and most of the time we don't need to use it for that. So with most of our cards being black, having, you know, the 1 Selesnya dual land being a pain land, I think makes a lot of sense. So that's the deck. It's kind of bananas. I can't wait to iterate on this more because I'm absolutely in love with it, but I think this is very, very close to what we want for a final version. Also, I do have a full 15 card sideboard for this because I've been running it on the standard metagame challenge. We're only doing best of 1 games in this deck tech, but if you're interested in what that sideboard is and you're interested in maybe seeing how this deck performs in best of 3, let me know in a comment, and maybe if I get enough people interested, I'll make another you know, like a bonus video with some best of 3 content with this deck with the sideboard and reveal the sideboard. So let me know if you're interested in that. I'm going to stop rambling. Let's check out the games. Yeah, no lands. That's some bias you got there, Shuffler. You. Alright, we're going to start with a Gorehound. Next turn, we play the Surveil land and something to trigger the Gorehound, while also swinging. Should be nice. Alright, Surveil. Kinda need the third land, don't we? So, let's not waste too many Surveil hits. Let's play the other Gorehound. Alright, Backstreet's back alright. Gnawing Vermin. Broodspinner. Sorry you guys have to listen to my family talking about dog poops. Do we keep the land? No, we gotta dump it. We can't waste all these surveils. So, we gotta dump it. We will keep that, though. That gets us to the 4 we need for Raise the Past. We don't want to do it yet. Not until we've played out the other creatures in our hand. But still. Surveil, Surveil, Surveil. Broodspinner in the yard. Bartolomé in the yard. Well, now we're talking, baby. Maverick in the yard. Bloodwitch. Surveil, Surveil. And then at this point, if he kills anything of ours, it's just good for us. That's fine, because we're going to bring it back. Sanctifier in the yard. Broodspinner in the yard. Swing 4. We win next turn. Unless he's got something he can pull out of his ass. Hopefully later today, Finn. Why, hello, sir. Welcome to 31 Triggers. And then we just want to surveil until we hit another Raise the Dead. Or Raise the Past. And then we stop. Nice. Mathematically, we should have hit one by now. So I'll be very surprised if we don't hit one by the time we get done with all of these triggers. There it is. Alright. Now we'll use this on, I guess, a Gorehound, right? Because we're going to be able to sneak through with a Gorehound. I mean, we just win right now, right? Double triggers off every death, and we have Bartolomé, so... It's over! Good night. All right. Let's see. He's playing some kind of a domain ramp style deck. I mean, it looks kind of like it's just Naya ramp using everywhere tokens to get... No, because you need black and blue, right? It's got to be some kind of domain ramp. So we're probably worried about Sunfall, right? And we might be worried about... Bo, no scratch. No scratch. We might be worried about temporary lockdown. I don't know. Do you think they run temporary lockdown? Hard to say. We definitely want to keep all of the Bartolomés in there. I think we go... something like this with the deep cavern bats. I don't know if we use the Haywire Mites. I'm gonna leave him out for now. We might side him in for game 3 if he's using temporary lockdowns. We know he's at least got Leyline bindings, but I don't know if it's good enough for just that. Really hard to say. Try it as is for now. We've got the bats, right? So we should be fine. Keep 7. Play the Courtyard, play the Dreamthief. Keep that. Even though we do need a second white source. I don't think we bat yet. I think we bat the turn before he gets to 5 mana for a Sunfall. I think for the time being, we just try to put out as many things as possible for him to contend with. Try to get him to, like, waste his spot removal. Yeah. Makes sense. Clifftop Lookout, okay. So now we have to bat. Now we absolutely have to bat. Oh, God. I don't even know, man. It's got green, white, and red. So his Leyline bindings cost 3. I think we take the push-pull so that we force him... So that we force him to have to spend 3 mana next turn instead of only 2, potentially. Not doing anything. Interesting. Dump you. Interesting. Did not expect that. End the turn. Did not expect that at all. Alright, we're going to draw a card. Gorehound. Dreamthief. Leyline binding the Gorehound, probably. Broodspinner down. Let's use the map token. Ellis down. Let's attack with the bat. Oh, you know what? I should have played the other bat first. We just want to get stuff out and have him kill it before he finds a Sunfall. That's the hope. The sooner we get it out, the more chances we have of it dying to something else and being in a position to come back with Raise the Past. The longer we wait, the more turns we give him to draw into a Sunfall and keep that from happening. Swing in for 4. He's going to trade. I mean, we want our stuff to die and not get exiled, so that's a good thing. This is what we want. And now that some more of our stuff went to the graveyard, I don't feel as bad about playing out this Starscape Cleric. And we should just win next turn. Let's force him to kill things before we raise the past. And I think we just win right here. I think we just win right here. 1 million triggers. 1 million triggers. Yeah, there we go. You donezo. Alright, this actually looks pretty good. We're going to keep it. Both lands are tap lands, but we get a lot of surveil out of it, so I don't hate it. Start with the Mortuary, get the Broodspinner in the yard. We're going to get that Vermin down ASAP. Get that self-mill out of the way before we start surveilling into what we want. Alright, Backstreet. Land, we're keeping it. We're keeping it. Now all we need is one more land. We've got Surveil 4 in our hand. Do it.
A fight?
Awesome.
And you think you can win? Ah, one of your friends has to leave.
Love it. Love it. If we see what we want, we'll play Bartolomé. We did get what we want. So we're going to play out Bartolomé. Next turn we play the Backstreet. We play Maverick Bloodwitch. And then the turn after that we raise and we win. Probably.
Drop it.
Yes, that helps me. That actually helps me, dude. What else you got? What are you playing? That actually helps me, my dude. Funeral Room. That's perfect. Did nothing to the board. We get to attack and kill Lily. Amazing. Surveil a Maverick. Surveil. Kill Lily. So that we can't make us discard. I mean, theoretically he could if he had another Lily. Chances of that are slim.
I know when I'm not wanted.
But Arena has hated us all day, so I don't know, maybe. If that's the case, then maybe we should have kept one of these cards in our hand. No, we're good. Sack the Maverick. Yeah, it's over, dude. It is so over. It is so over. I want the life off the Bloodwitch, and I want them all to come back with Raise the Past. So I'm doing it. We're doing it live! Let's go, baby. Good night. We go until we hit another raise. Literally. Cleric. Bloodwitch. Yes, there we go. There's the raise. Double raise. Sure, we'll keep them. We'll keep them both, just in case something goes wrong. Let's sack the Vermin. I mean, maybe we just win. Everything we sack, it drains him 1, and he loses 1. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, we have lethal. We have lethal. We'll just do it now. We could have just, you know, raised the past and then raised the past again. 3 raise the pasts over 3 turns. Alright, this actually looks okay. They're all pain lands, which sucks. But we've got to raise the past, and we've got a start to getting our white mana that we need for it. We've got lots of surveil. I think we can make it work. Start with the Maverick, surveil as much as possible so that we can try to set ourselves up with the 3rd land. Boom, boom. Binomial distribution. Could you imagine? Alright. Same principle here. Broodspinner. Another raise the past. I mean, we just gotta dump it. We gotta get to our lands. That's all that matters. That is all that matters. Yeah, I'm not even going to play one of our 2-drops. Hey, there it is. I don't mind getting 2 for 1 and trading these guys. We want them in the yard anyway. We're going to be 1 land away from Raise the Past, and we've still got plenty of gas to drop. Yeah, it's basically how it goes, Chunky. Everything or nothing. Alright, he's not swinging in. That's interesting. All pain lands, by the way. Crazy. Bartolomé goes away. Just need white mana. And I've learned my mistake from some other games that I played testing this. So, I will not be dumping a land in the graveyard if it enters tapped. I got greedy a couple games and was digging for an untapped land. And it ended up, if I had taken the tapped land, I would have been an extra turn away from playing Raise the Past. But by not taking it, I actually ended up being multiple turns away because it took me so long to find another land. Never again! Swing for 2 in the air. Hold back our Rubblebelt Maverick and Broodspinner to block. We'll drain 4 when they die. I think I'd rather keep them at this point, though, until the Starscape Cleric is out. Each one drains 2 right now. If I get that Starscape Cleric out, each one will drain 4. Which is nuts. Yeah, if our board is just holding off his dudes, we'll just let him through. Oh, there it is. I think we want everything to die, though. Alright. We're going to get a little bit greedy here. We're going to go 1 more turn. Gonna hold back everything as blockers. We want him to send the team in, so we can chump block everything and then Raise the Past and win. We might even win without doing that, to be completely honest. We've got a Bartolomé, right? Yeah, we definitely win even without that. I should have just played Raise the Past. But it's okay. We'll give him an extra turn. We'll give him an extra turn to see what he can do.
I will fight for those who cannot.
Flying and double strike doesn't really matter. The counter doesn't really matter.
Your soul burns with might.
Sweet. So we block one of the 3/3s. And then we block a Rabo. And then we block another 3/3. He's still got 2 mana available. Do we want to not get that quite that greedy? I think we don't want to quite get that greedy. But we might win right here. Every creature that dies is doing 4.
Did 𝐿KOs just drop sharply while I was away?
4, 8. Yeah, this is lethal. This is so crazy lethal. You fool! You absolute fool. That's 24 damage right there. He just killed himself. He just nuked himself. We didn't even need Raise the Past. Who needs Raise the Past? Crazy. This actually looks pretty good. We're gonna keep this. We're gonna start with the Gorehound. Normally I jam the Broodspinner onto, but we have 3 LSL cores. So we really need to get that thing out and force our opponent to kill it. Oh, he's gonna take the Broodspinner, isn't he? That's sad. That's sad. Is what it is, though. Surveillant? Yeah, we can keep that. Just want him to kill Ellis. Come on. Kill Ellis. Do it. I mean, we're winning the race. Sweet. He's actually going to block. I mean, that allows us to use an Ellis as removal instead of as nothing. Don't want the land. Not anymore. He knows we have 3 Ellis. Why did he do that? Alright. Ellis and Starscape Cleric in the yard. Getting close. Getting close to what we need. Alright, we're going to start with Rubblebelt Maverick. Get some Surveil in. Hey, that's what we want. And we will swing. And we kind of want Ellis to die so that it'll come back with Raise the Past. Aw. Didn't die. Came back to our hand. That's sad. Deep Cavern Bat. That's not gonna do it. Gotta do what we gotta do. Get all those triggers. Let's refill the graveyard and find another Raise the Past. Come on, baby. Broodspinner. Broodspinner. Maverick. Gorehound. Gorehound and another Raise the Past. Let's go. We can sack our board to make him lose another 5 damage if we want. So he can't take this 4. Which is crazy. We might not even need this second Raise the Past to win. And we're set up really well for it. Yeah, he has to block. Do we want him to not gain the life? 3. Yeah, we'd still only get him to 1. So we'll let him. We'll kill the bat. Although I think if we had exiled one of these Rubblebelt Mavericks to put a counter on the Snarling Gorehound, I think we actually would have had lethal. It would have been close. That's for sure. So we're going to force him to deal with our board state right now. And have to use his mana. So that hopefully he doesn't have the mana left over that he needs for the counterspell. And then we get through with the Raise the Dead and win. That's my hope. Like, he has to block the Bartolomé, right? Into the Floodmaw. No. There will be none of that. Sure. Sure. And now we win. Haha! 𝐻𝐿, you're done for. Welcome to Trigger Heaven. 7th Heaven. I'll drink to that. This one I think maybe we mulligan. One lander seems a little rough. We'll keep this and toss back the white creature, since we only have green and black mana. And that's kind of a bummer, but I think we can make it work. I think we can make it work. I'm going to start with the Maverick, so that we get to Surveil 2 as soon as possible. Make sure we get other stuff that we need. White mana would be wonderful. Chart a course. He is certainly charting. Alright, we'll go Backstreet, another Gorehound, Dreamthief, our other white mana. We're going to keep it. We're going to keep it because now all we need is to get to Raise the Past. I mean, we need more creatures in there, but that'll just happen organically. Alright, you've got an Oculus, that's fine. You're on a 4-turn clock. Actually, we've got a Dreamthief to block, so it's not quite that bad. Vermin down. Alright. Patchwork Beastie milling a card. Just all chumps all day. Yes, I think that's another Oculus. Kind of like this version being Sultai, though. I haven't seen the Sultai Oculus yet. Nowhere to run. Does he kill the Dreamthief? No, the Bloodwitch. Okay. That's fair. We're just gonna try and stall the game as much as we can. So we're gonna block the one big guy. Save the Maverick for a bigger attacker down the line. Potentially. We got Broodspinner. There's our Raise the Past. There it is. We don't have what we need to win the game on the spot, but we do have so much Surveil coming in from it that we will definitely be able to fill up the graveyard and get to another Raise the Past. So we absolutely slam it next turn. And we want all this stuff dead, so we're going to block with whatever we can block with. Because we want it to all come back with Raise the Past. Yeah, Chunky, we got the win. Alright, chump block with the Broodspinner. I would love to chump block with these guys too, but I guess it's not in the cards. Think he's running counter spells? I don't feel like he would be. We haven't seen any get milled. I'm going to take a chance here. Swing in. Everything's blocking the Bloodwitch? So confused. Okay. Drain 2. Please don't have a counter spell. Ah, we got it. We got it, baby. Look at all those triggers. Look at all those triggers. We don't have a way to win right off the bat, but like I said, we've got plenty of surveilling, so we should be able to set ourselves up to just get to another Raise the Past. Gorehound in the yard. Land in the yard. Cleric in the yard. I mean, if we get to another Raise the Past, that is the game. Bartolomé's in the yard. Come on, Raise the Past. Mathematically, we should be there. Show me. Show me. Come on, give it to me. There you are. Holy Diva. I'm a survivor. If we block, he still takes 3. Every creature of ours that dies. Which is gnarly. So, I mean, 31 life, we can definitely drag this game out. The only thing I'm worried about now is, does he actually have a counterspell in this deck? I don't think he does, because like I said, we've seen everything he's been milling. He hasn't hit one with milling at all. Alright, he thinks he's got us because of Valgavoth. See, this is where, this is where the ETBs end up being really good against something like Valgavoth. Way better than Death Triggers. There we go. This isn't the best hand, but I think we can keep it. To Raise the Pasts means we can afford to just blow one early to just get a little bit of value. I think we want No, we don't want the Gorehound yet, because we're not going to be able to play a 1-drop next turn. Let's just Backstreet. We want to find a land, preferably a green land. Not the country. Ruthless Negotiation. Well then. I'm not going to let him see that we have Raise the Past. We need to dig for lands. There's a land. It's not a green land. I think because we have 2 Surveils, we dump it. So that we don't waste the second Surveil. It might come back to bite us. But we don't have any more Surveils in our hand either, so... we need to try to get to a green land. What does he take? It is a difficult decision. So I don't really blame him. Let's mill some dudes. Sanctifier. Just need to get to that land, man. Hold up the Dreamthief so that he can't attack with the Deep Cavern Bat. More discard. Get rid of the other. Okay. Well, we need to Raise the Past. So. Okay. Well, it's gone. It is what it is. I guess we gotta try to win fair now. Guess we gotta try to win fair. I mean, it's definitely possible. We've got boots on the ground. Swing. Swing. Because if he double blocks the Gorehound, we kill the bat. Alright. We're going to draw with the Dreamthief. But we're going to wait until after he can't cast Sorcery Speed discard. Shouldn't be able to attack here. Yeah, that Gnawing Vermin can kill the bat, so we can't even swing with Sheoldred. We just gotta go for it, man. We gotta go for it, man. il-Kor in the yard. Snarling Vengeful in the yard. Starscape Cleric. Gorehound. Once again. Swing for 3. Maybe we even should have swung with the Dreamthief since we have the Broodspinner now. Slasher, sure. Taking 4 a turn from the Talent and the Sheoldred, so we gotta hurry it up. Come on, Prinny. Lily. You don't want me to sacrifice something like that. Let's Gorehound, Surveil. Come on, raise. We're gonna dump this Maverick. I really don't care about Liliana. I care about getting him dead. Maybe we can trick him into attacking into the Broodspinner with the Deep Cavern Bat. Let's find out. It's kind of our last chance, right? Our last turn here. Unless we can gain some life. Ruthless, sure.
Drop it.
Come on. Take the bait. Forget about the reach. Ah, damn it. I think that's it, guys. I think that's it. Our dream became a meme. Unfortunately. We just attack with everything. So depressing. Watch, we'll get it right here. Raise the past. You watch. It's going to be right in this Surveil too. No. Okay, well. Doesn't feel as bad then. We're still dead. We died of the talent. And if we didn't die to the talent, we'd die to the Shieldred. But again, this is a situation where we're just really unlucky. We didn't get any of our life gain, dudes. We have 12. 12 cards in the deck that can help us gain life off of all of our creatures. And we got none. This actually looks pretty good. I think we get the Gorehound out first. Would you like to keep Wheeze? Would you like to make it happen? I'll be here drinking my nectar. Capricorn ASMR all day. You want me to discard a card? Okay. Sure. Sure. Gorehound. What else you got for me, Wheeze? Cut down. Okay. Well, I mean, at least we're stalling you out real good. I'm not that upset about it. We'll play out Ellis. The next turn we'll play the Backstreet and the Broodspinner. If we needed a third land, I would have just jammed the Broodspinner this turn. But we don't. Maverick in the yard. Broodspinner down. Gain a little bit of life. 2 Dream Thieves in the yard. Sure. No tax. We're close. We're close to everything that we need. We are certainly trying. Kill the Slasher. Like, we want our stuff in the graveyard, so it's not even that bad. It's not even that bad. Part of me really wanted to play the Gnawing Vermin that turn. But I think it makes sense to use as much of our mana as possible. Don't think we really need Bartolomé. Alright, we will self-mill. Better not hit a Raise the Past, I swear to God. Then we'll Bloodwitch. And then we'll swing 2. I mean, we're racing them pretty well, even without the Raise the Past. We're doing the damn thing, Chunky. Tiny Bones to Pickpocket. Go for the Throat to Sanctifier. Interesting choice. Put you at 12. Not sure, are you? No blocks. Hey, there we go. That's our 4th land. And we're closer to our Raise the Past, at least hopefully. End turn.
Something suspicious is going on. And for
Target
once, it's not
player
my fault.
sacrifices a creature. Starscape Cleric.
Haven't you ever heard of personal space?
Comes in with the Slasher. We'll block it with the Vermin and then kill Tiny Bones. Seems fine to me. We got him down to 8. And we're still at 23. We're going to draw a card with the Dreamthief. Try and get closer to that Raise the Past. No dice, at least not yet. Pass the turn. Just keep chumping. Just the Slasher. A new Liliana. Interesting.
Enough with the mysteries. I've come.
So we'll
for
drain 2.
answers. Off you go.
It's a very dangerous game you're playing, Wheeze. Do we just go to 11? I guess it would be we'd go to 10. Kind of think that's actually okay. We can always chump block tomorrow. Tomorrow, tomorrow. I love you. Tomorrow. Just whatever gets us closer to Raise the Past. You know? That's all that matters. No! Frickin' self-milled it, dude. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Alright. Let's kill Liliana.
Fine. I'll take
We'll
my
block the
zombies
Slasher
leave.
and kill it with the -1/-1. Unless he uses removal on it. Even then, we're still not dead, though. Oh, he's digging. Does he need a land? He might need a land. But in all honesty, that's only one Raise the Past, and we're almost up halfway through the deck, so we should still have another one coming up pretty soon. Statistically speaking. Such a bummer, though. Would have been the next card. Why didn't he attack with the Warlock? Oh, because he's afraid of me killing him. I guess that makes sense. Rubblebelt Maverick. Dump you, dump you. Dreamthief. Oh, do we do it again? Am I gonna regret this? I'm not milling. I'm playing it, but I'm not milling myself. Not doing it. I mean, it's something. It's something. Yes, give me all the drainies, you fool. I think we got him next turn. It's gonna be real close. 2, 4, 6. Yeah, he's dead. Good game. Good game. Good lord, man. Crazy. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, buddy. It's over. Thanks so much for checking out my channel. I'd like to give a huge shout out to all of my patrons over at Patreon. Without you guys, this channel would not be possible, so honestly, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all of your contributions. If you haven't yet, like and subscribe. The more likes we get and the quicker we get them, the bigger this channel will grow and the faster it will grow. I'd love nothing more than this channel to become something very special for you guys, but it's entirely up to you how fast that happens. Also, if you'd like more deck text, that's somewhere over there. And if you'd like to see what else the channel's been up to lately, that's somewhere up that way. Also, subscribe, circle below, do all the things.